Are fears and doubts stopping you from closing high-ticket sales? You are not alone. Those fear-based objections come up for everyone, even seasoned business owners. But here's the thing, they don't have to hold you back. Not if you know how to work with them instead of against them. Hey there, I'm Erin Lindstrom. I'm a sales strategist. I've been working in the online space for over 10 years, and I help coaches and educators overcome fear, self-doubt, and strategy confusion so they can sell their offers with confidence and clarity without burning out or selling their soul in the process. In this video, I'm breaking down the 3 biggest fear-based objections I hear from clients all the time and sharing practical strategies to move through them with more ease, more confidence, and yes, more sales. These are the exact fears my team and I help clients work through every day, so let's go there. Before we dive in, make sure you grab my aligned sales checklist and journal prompts. If you've got like sales junk going on, but you don't know what, this is a great place to start. So go ahead and grab that now. Let's go ahead and dive into the first fear that might be running the show behind the scenes, the fear of rejection. It's not just that you don't want them to say no. It's also, what if they say no and that means I suck? And what if this offer was my best shot? And what if they say yes and I mess it up? There's like no win here, right? Rejection taps into all of our deeper stuff: worth, safety, success, identity. So if it feels big, that's not because you're bad at sales, it's because you're human. Here's a reframe that may help. Instead of focusing on getting the yes, focus on being of service. What would it look like to just show up and tell the truth and offer help if it's aligned? Let your job on a sales call be to invite. Let their job be to decide. That one shift alone can take so much pressure off. I had a client, we're going to call her Jill, and she was frozen around selling her new offer. She kept rewriting the post, deleting her stories, and second-guessing every word. When we finally dug in on a call, it turns out, surprise, it wasn't about the content. It was about the fear of rejection. As we talked through it, she shifted from, I need this to work, to let me show up and connect. She ended up posting one story with a client example and a simple CTA, and she got a 5K client within 24 hours. Same offer, just different energy. You've got to take the pressure off the sale and instead come into connection, share genuinely, make sure they have the information they need to make a decision, but the decision is not yours. So stop putting all of the pressure there and instead focus on what you can control, how you're showing up, how you're describing the offer, and how you're nurturing that relationship. The next thing that often comes up is the dreaded tech stuff. So many smart, talented people hold themselves back because the back end of it all feels like too much. You might think, I need a sales page and an email funnel and automations, and what is Zapier and what the hell is it doing? And you might end up in this loop of like, okay, well, I have to figure all this stuff out and then I can do this, right? I'll sell it after I figure that out, but first I have all of these things to do. Let's just simplify this instead. You do not need a tech empire to make high-ticket sales. In fact, all you need is a clear offer, a way for people to say yes, and a way to collect payment. That's actually pretty simple, right? Everything else is optional or can come later. Now, if you're someone who's like, okay, but I really like, I have to learn all of this. Okay, keep in mind, you do not have to build all of this yourself, okay? There are people who can support you. Oh my gosh, yes, I do have a team. Thank you for asking. But there are VAs, there are young people, there's tons of people that can help with this. So know that if you have the resources, really meaning money, to buy some time with someone to set this up, do that if you need to. And if you don't have the resource of money, then you likely have the resource of time, which means YouTube and ChatGPT can be your best friends as you set all of this up. Not to mention all of the softwares that you may use, they want people to use their software. So they have pretty great tutorials and how-tos and resources as well. Okay, but anyway, keep this simple. Sometimes like ugly and simple is what converts best. You don't know how many tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions at this point. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that was literally, you just watched me think in real time. But like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars sold from a Google Doc. No sales page, no fancy website. Just here's the information. Would you like to join? Here's the link to pay. And you can use a simple PayPal or Stripe card or whatever it is that you have. But it doesn't have to be rocket science. It doesn't need to be a tech masterpiece, okay? All right, the third thing I want to talk about is pricing doubts. So this is sneaky because it can look like strategy, but it's typically mindset. When you're like really hemming and hawing over your price, it might sound like, is this too much? Maybe I need to add more bonuses. Oh, we need a guest expert. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to discount it this time. That is you possibly freaking out about the price. Is it strategic? Maybe. Is it mindset? Probably. So, a couple things to help shift your frame here. Number one, keep in mind that not everyone is looking for the cheapest option. In fact, when we see the cheapest option, we usually assume it's the crappiest option. So, if you're trying to just be less than everyone else, right? If you're trying to make your service or your course or whatever low so that it stands out, like that's not the way. We're not looking for the cheapest. We're looking for the best and the best within reason for the people that you're working with. So it is important to know who is your ideal client, what kind of budget are they working with, and does this work for them? I think it's silly. Sometimes people are like, oh, it can be whatever. It doesn't matter. Everyone can afford high ticket. Like, no, they can't. Hi, it's 2025. Have you seen the world? No, they can't. So I do think it makes sense to know what your ideal people are doing right now and how can they invest, what makes sense to them, and make sure that you are aligning with that. But if you get so caught up in that that you can't even make in a couple of offers and see what happens, that's when we know it's a mindset thing. That said, if you're going out there and you have data coming in that this isn't hitting, something's not right, that's different. That is a strategy thing. Let's go back to the basics and look at what you're offering and how you're pricing it and positioning it and talking about it. So I can go on forever. But anyway, people don't want the cheapest option, okay? They want the right option and they want the one that actually meets their needs. So just pay attention to how much you're tinkering in there. Perhaps it's too much. I had a client, had like an accounting firm. They did tax services, bookkeeping, all that stuff, okay? And she was selling a deep dive service for $300 a month, okay? But she was basically offering high level strategy and like energetic support with custom deliverables and ongoing access in that $300 a month package. What? So of course I come in, I saw that. And all we did was just reframe this offer a little bit, right? We tweaked the positioning and had her describe it in a different way that really claimed what it was doing, which is like holding space at a very high level and advising based on your real data, right? While teaching you something. And what she was able to do was take that $300 a month service and change it to a $2,500 a month service, $3,500 if they needed extra support with like additional hours and that sort of thing. And guess what? The next client that signed on literally said that was less than I was expecting. Sometimes we just play these games with ourselves, and it's okay to figure out what we think it should be and then go test it, see what people say. You'd be surprised how many people are like, okay, cool, thanks. Send me the link, right? Like I'm ready to go. A lot of time the friction is imagined by us and it's not actually there. And if it is, no problem. When there is friction, it's because people have questions. They need more information. They need to know that this is the right thing for them. And that to me is not a problem. I'm happy to have a conversation. Let's get clear to make sure it is the right choice. If you need a little script for sales calls, this is going to be super simple. Ready? But you can just say, the investment is, insert your price here, and it includes da 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 da. Let me know if you want to talk through what that could look like for you. And then they have the microphone. You stop talking. You do not need to say more. You do not need to ground that. You do not need to make them feel okay. You do not need to say immediately, but I can give you a discount. No, sit there for a second. Here's the investment. This is what you get. How does that sound to you? And then you wait and you let them say how that actually feels to them. And then you meet them in that. And that's part of being present on the sales call. Again, you're not trying to convince, you're trying to show up, you're sharing, you're listening, and then you're going to go from there. Now, for my friends out there who just kind of find themselves hesitating no matter what, sometimes there's a fear that's like less specific, but still very real. It's the like, what if I'm not ready fear, right? And you might think I need to fix my offer, I need better branding, I need to wait till I do X, Y, Z. You might actually just need momentum, which means taking action, not waiting for all this to be done to go take action. Imperfect action is what leads to clarity, not the other way around. Every successful business owner I know, including me, started out by selling before everything was polished. You don't need permission. You just need to take that first step. Go out there, make an offer, see what happens. So tell me, which of these do you relate to the most? Do you have like fear of rejection coming up? Is it the tech stuff? Do you have doubts about pricing? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what's real for you, and I'm always open to making more content that will actually be helpful. Now, if this did start to help, maybe you tweak some things, has you thinking about things differently, maybe you're pissed at me because sometimes it's annoying when someone calls you out on your bullshit, then make sure you download my aligned sales prompts and journal checklist. It is full of questions and prompts to get you thinking about all of this, to shake off some of the dust that might be on your sales bones. um, and to really just like get you moving forward, to create momentum, to get you going from thinking about sales and watching a video about it to actually selling. And of course, thank you for watching and for being real with yourself about what is actually in your way. Feeling uncomfortable with high ticket sales at first, or even not at first, in the middle of it, is normal. It's okay that this stuff is coming up. We live in a weird, wacky world under capitalism. Like money is not just about money. It's often tied to feelings and other things. So notice what's coming up. If you need extra support, beyond this video, there are professionals for that. And if you need strategic support with your business, I'm here. There are others here. But I want you to know that like your work matters and your offer matters, and you get to do this. If it's just the sales that's keeping you from it, know that like this is a learnable skill. You don't have to be special to figure this out. You can absolutely do it. You can sell in a way that feels like you and feels aligned and not sleazy. So I'll be here cheering you on. If you need anything else, you know where to find me. See you next time.